Hey guys, Matt Catling here. Welcome to the Goal Accelerator workshop today, or the Goal Accelerator system. I'm coming from Zoom today, so I can't see the actual Facebook Live, but I hope you can hear me and see me, and I'm excited about today's session. So let's just jump straight into this Goal Accelerator workshop. I've been having a lot of questions about goal setting and how to do goal setting, how to make goal setting work. And so I put this together. But a little bit about me for the new people that have joined our group. So if you're watching this for the first time, this is the first time I've seen you. This is a little bit about my background. And I'll do it very, very quick so I can jump into this training. As you can see at the bottom, I've got multiple companies. I got to a point where I was just launching so many different entities and all that type of stuff. So these are now my focus. I've got the Institute of Behavioral Science. I created the Institute of Behavioral Science to really bring in a new level of standard, I suppose, in the coaching and therapy industry and bring people together. What I found was that the alternative industry was bashing the mainstream industry and vice versa. And at the highest level, I looked at psychologists and doctors and counselors and also coaches and different types of alternative therapists. At the highest level, what do we want to do? We want to help people. And so instead of fighting each other, what if we kind of came together and supported each other and shared knowledge? And that's really the foundation of the Institute of Behavioral Science. And what I created is a new therapy. It's called RCT, Rapid Change Technologies. And it's really bringing the best of all of that information together, because one thing doesn't necessarily work for every single person. And we're at different stages often, and different wounds and different patterns. And RCT, or Rapid Change Technologies, really is the science of follow through and how we can look at moving to a consistent state of high performance. What I noticed, I suppose, especially in the NLP realms, was it is often branded quick fix. And if you looked at a lot of, the studies online, it was pseudoscience and all of those things. But if you look at the studies, they hadn't been long-term studies. And that's what we want to do with the Institute of Behavioral Science. That's the next phase, is to put in some funding and some research. And really what I believe is it's what's necessary is kind of a new kind of look at our psychology and the way that we're doing it. And I see this that's happening at the moment. We see all of these crises, and I believe what follows a crisis is an awakening. And I believe what's happening at the moment is there's a shift. There's a shift from leadership that's happening. And we're seeing like kind of wounded leaders running the show. And I believe over the next 10 years, we're going to see a shift. And the shift is what I believe is the rise of the authentic leader. And how we move to that is really kind of turning up our true voice. And that's what I love about RCT. It is literally about creating space, turning up that true voice. And when you make decisions from that true voice, you get on what I call a true target in life. If you're making life decisions from a false voice, you'll typically be on a false target. And that's like a merry-go-round. And it's almost like you can feel that you're never going to get off. It's like, if I fix this, maybe one day I can have what I want. But when you're on a true target, you actually start to get out there and you start to create. And so the Institute of Behavioral Science is kind of an entity that's putting kind of a structure behind this new way of coaching and the therapeutic process. The Troublemakers Network is my entrepreneurial kind of group where I help people get out there and break out of their jobs, break out of their business, break into life. Your Future Now is my personal development company. So we train coaches, speakers. We've got a whole heap of certifications and small business trainings. And the objective of Your Future Now is to help people really create freedom in life and business. And that's what I find. When you handle the basic stresses around health, wealth, relationships, it creates space for you to tap into your true genius. And that's what Your Future Now is all about. My flagship training, Live It Now, is a 2-day event. And I run this event free for the community. And we raise money for charity, and it's kind of my mission to be able to get out there and create a positive world one person at a time, because I believe everyone should have this information. Everyone should have access to RCT. And growing up, I was very shy, I was very anxious, and I did my first NLP practitioner training when I was 12 years old, and I thought it was impossible to change. And my dad put me in this training, and unfortunately, a year later, he passed away. And the last thing he said to me was, Matt, the key to life is to live it now. And so I launched this event as a symbol to him. And initially I launched it as also a way to be able to help me grow as a presenter, because it was my biggest fear. And so I thought if I ran kind of a free event, and you know, I could get some practice, and if I was really terrible at presenting, no one would judge me because it was a free event. Little did I know it would go viral. And so I've lost count how much money we've raised for charity. We've helped over 100,000 people in that training. And you know, I would never believe that I would be able to, from a training perspective, be training psychologists, doctors, and neurosurgeons, all of that stuff in RCT. And so Live It Now has kind of been a movement that has been created that has helped so many people. And can you believe we've had 100 marriages through our network over the last 10 years? Amazing. Your Future Events is my events company. We promote other speakers. And you can see at the bottom, Ultimate Life Recharge. That's like my detox program, where I take a small group of people to Byron and we recharge the batteries. So there's so many things that I'm doing, as you see. But I've been doing this since I was, 12 years old. And I've worked with so many thousands of people across the world. And I really have a passion for making a difference and service. And so if you're in this group, if you're in Breakout to Success, this little tribe is a new tribe that we're creating. And Breakout to Success to me is a different definition of success, which is we're moving into a new world. We're moving into an accelerated world. And what's required is, acceleration of your thinking, an acceleration to be able to make decisions, powerful decisions, and most importantly, an acceleration of your ability to be able to execute. Because the world is speeding up and tech is doing that, crises are doing that. And with that is enormous opportunities. But if your mindset is still stuck in kind of the industrial revolution, and a lot of people are, a lot of people are like resigned to the fact that they're never going to own property, and property's too expensive and all that type of stuff. No. That's the old industrial revolution thinking. What's required is you taking a leadership position, changing your mindset, getting on a true target, and really executing as fast as possible. I say to my clients, there's no $1 million ideas, it's just $1 million execution. Everyone has ideas, but it's your ability to execute. And that's what our presentation is about today, is looking at the goal setting process and how to accelerate goals and really move as fast as possible. You probably heard of SMART goals before. What I train my coaches, my therapists in, is a technology called I Am Smart. And I created the I Am Smart process because I used to set SMART goals. And I remember I had this one client, he was in Melbourne, and it was a bit of a breakthrough for me. And I was sitting with him and we're doing a traditional SMART goal. And he said, Matt, I want to launch a business. I want to have 40 clients. I want to have 165,000 turnover. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. And I was listening to him, and one of the things that I teach in my coaching program is how to look at communication or nonverbal communication. And from a sensory acuity point of view, I picked up on his tonality, his body language, and I'm like, you're not motivated at all when it comes to this goal. Is that correct? And he said, well, to be honest. Now, by the way, when someone says to be honest, they've been lying to you up to that point. And he said, yeah, to be honest, I'm reading this goal and I feel stressed. And I'm like, you are never going to be able to achieve this goal with that type of energy inside. And so I kind of threw that process out and I asked some different questions. And these questions are very powerful, especially the first ones, because they get you on a true target. And so I just cycled the first two, and you can see this, the first part of the I Am Smart goal is the I Am. And so I asked, what would inspire you? But then what would motivate you? So the inspiration is like the big picture, but what's going to motivate you to go through the tough times? What's going to have you get up at 4:30 in the morning if you need to, if it's a health goal, and train? Okay. And so I kept cycling these questions. I said, what would inspire you? What would motivate you? In the context of this business, and I also want you to look at every area of life. What would inspire you? What would motivate you? Now, initially you said to me, I don't know. Now, when someone says that I don't know, there's two things that are happening here. Typically, they're using the I don't know as an excuse, because if they did know, then they'd have to do something different. So the out is I don't know. And especially when someone says it straight away without thinking, there is a part of them that is safe where they are. They don't want to change. because they're getting needs met specifically by being in this specific environment. Or conversely, someone is in a situation where they're so focused on what they don't want, there's not enough space to work out what they do want. And often I find out when I sit down with someone, they keep saying, I don't know, but they can tell me lists and lists and lists of things that they don't want to experience. And so we've got to create space for something new, some new thinking. And this is what Einstein said. He said, all problems are problems with the imagination, but all solutions are solutions with the imagination. The thinking that got you into the problem is not the thinking that's going to get you out of the problem. And so anyway, I cycled this question. Initially, we went through the I don't know, and I challenged him on that. Then new information came to the surface. And this is what I teach my coaches in Coach Now that's coming up. I say we use the I am part as like peeling the layers of the onion back. We might have to keep cycling that question multiple times until we uncover what I call a true target or your true voice, some authenticity. And then bang, we got it. He started to cry. And he said, Matt, I haven't seen my son in 2 years. And he said, I don't want to be the father. I don't want to be my father. I want to be better. I want to be a leader. I want to support my son. I want to be with my son. I want to be, my son's in Sydney. I'm in Melbourne. I don't have the resources to be there. I want to be in the same suburb. I want to be with him. And the tears were just, this emotion was coming through. Then we attached the business to it. Then I went, what specifically do you want? How do we measure this? Is this attainable? And the attainability check, some people overestimate what they can do in a short period of time, like 12 months. So we use the attainability check. Then sometimes when you pull the goal back, it takes the charge off. So then we go risky. How do we make this risky? And then the tangibility is, how would you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you've achieved this? So that's what I did with him. And we set a goal and we put it in a structure as though it was happening right now. So I got him to create an internal story and imagine it was happening right now. And we put a date on it. So it was like, today is whatever the date was. And it was like, I am walking onto the plane. I've checked my bank account. I've got $100,000 in savings. My business has expanded. I'm seeing 40 clients. I'm getting referrals. And what I'm so excited about is that I have a place in Sydney. I'm going to be with my son and I can be the leader and the father that I've always wanted to be with him. And the emotion and the clarity that started to unfold. Now, this was a 12-month goal. This was a 12-month goal. He did it in 90 days. He achieved this in 90 days. Now, why did he achieve it in 90 days? Because we connected a true target. We connected the inspiration, but also we balanced it with the motivation. The motivation to get him up to be able to take action, to be able to execute in the fastest possible time frame. And so this is what I teach my coaches, my therapists in our Coach Now training, is this is a new revolution in goal setting. And one of the things to be able to help you kind of fast track or accelerate your achievement of goals, what I do with my clients is that I set a goal like this, then immediately I do a list of the top 5 things that you're avoiding around that specific goal. Because remember, the things that you're avoiding at all costs indicate an enormous war inside that is taking up energy. We want to unlock that authentic power. We want to unlock that energy and we want to be able to use that momentum. And so this is what I say to my clients. What we need to do is we set this goal, then we do a list of the top 5 things that you're avoiding, and then we hit number 1. And by executing, almost without thinking, by executing that number 1 thing straight away, the momentum starts to continue. And this is it. Like the things that you avoid at all costs have the biggest opportunity for personal growth, but have the biggest opportunity to unlock authentic power and clarity and really accelerate you to the next level. And so, as I mentioned, this is what I teach. I teach this I'm Smart goal setting process. In the workbook, I've put this in there for you, the I'm Smart goal setting process. And so we've got a 12-month goal. I've got a whole heap of questions in there. And so it's in the workbook. If you don't have the workbook, just type goals in the comments. We will send the workbook for you. By the way, if you would like to experience an RCT session with an expert in rapid change, and if you want them to do this goal setting process, just type yes in the comments. I've got 5 of those to give away today. And also, what I want to say to you is the key is being in this environment. And so if you're watching this, workshop and you're not part of Breakout to Success, please be part of Breakout to Success, because we're doing workshops like this every single week. There's books, there's RCT techniques, there's so much. And I would love to meet you personally as well. The 2nd of July to the 3rd of July coming up, we have Live It Now. It's basically a free event. You can upgrade to a VIP for $47 if you want to, and then we just provide you with food and a few other bonuses, but it's a free event. All that I ask is that if you get a breakthrough, that you make a donation to our chosen charity. You can check out liveitnow.com.au and bring your friends. It's a really, really amazing event. And as always, guys, like reach out if you ever need any help. Message me if you ever need any help. We're here. Our mission is to create a positive world, one person at a time. And I think if you come along to some of our free events and our free workshops, you'll really get what we're about and the mission that we have. And there's so many exciting things that are happening. We're going international at the moment. We think, this brand and Live It Now is going to make such an impact in this world. And so we would love to see you in person at our live events if you ever get the opportunity. But as I said, please reach out if you ever need any help to me and my team. We're here to support you, and we would love to share the power of RCT with you. And again, if you're keen on one of our RCT sessions, just type goals in the comments, and you can have a goal setting process done with you with an expert in rapid change. Anyway, guys, take care. I hope you enjoyed today, and I hope to see you in our upcoming events. Coach Now's coming up if you want to be trained in RCT as well. Bye for now.